This episode of Trash the Script is coming to you from Full Circle Atlanta. For all your vintage and sneaker needs, pull up to Full Circle Atlanta. What goes around comes around. Welcome back to Trash the Script. I'm Sudu. This is Georgia. We were on a hiatus last week because Georgia decided to just skip town, but we're back now. George, what's up? Tell the people where you went. What'd you do?
I was out of office. I went to Florida, got some, caught some waves.
Yeah.
Got some sun.
How many years did you have that "From Florida with Love" caption just sitting in your notes that you'd been waiting to use?
It just came to me, Sue.
I thought that was like a 2021 caption that like every woman had to use, but you decided to just wait until 2025 to bring it out.
I was going to make a comment about this because I'm like, this is but I just thought it was
And then
fitting.
you made a holy airball TikTok. Like you were on your content creator game,
you know
huh?
what? Because listen, that could be the future. That's where the money is. So better get going.
Right.
Better start making the trendy TikToks.
If there's one trend that annoys me right now, this is not an attack on you. It's that.
I just made that TikTok. So.
It's so annoying to me. And like all my friends have made it and I've supported all of them.
And the song, it's just catchy.
Sure. Anyways, welcome back. You were on a boat. Can you tell the people how do you get on a boat? I feel like women.
Why are we talking about the boat?
Women get on boats more than men get on boats. Like y'all seem to find yourselves on boats, which there's a bad history of that as well. I was a little worried when I saw you on a boat. I was like, do you know like? Do people know you're on this boat? Do people know whose boat you're on?
You have my location.
I do have your location. I don't check your location at all times.
No, you look, it's like the middle of the ocean. We didn't even go out to the ocean. We just went through Jupiter and there was nice houses. And then we pulled up to a...
But I need you to tell me how you got on the boat.
My friend and I were just invited to go on a boat.
Oh, just invited magically. Just, hey, would you like to go on a boat?
Well, that's common, I feel like, in Florida. People take boats out and just say, hey,
I feel like there's some details being left out here. So what precautions did you take prior to going on this boat?
Yes, because I did. Okay. I think, and I make good decisions now, right?
Sure. So tell us. So I would love to know.
My friend is from the area, and so she knew somebody in the Coast Guard. So she got the license plate or the identification of the boat and sent it to her friend that was in the Coast Guard. And she was like, hey, just so you know. Wait,
so you guys called the Coast Guard? That is, very
That's
smart.
Yeah.
Feels a bit extra to call, the military, but...
her friend works for the Coast Guard, and he's like, hey, I'm off today, but I'm going to give it to my buddies.
So you guys scoped out the boat you went on with the Coast Guard?
I guess when we were walking up, she got the information.
That is actually, good for her. What's her name? Shout her out.
Kaylee. My girl. She's small but mighty. It's always the small friends that are a little feisty.
Take precautions. That's incredible.
But I love it. No,
so in case something happened, the Coast Guard knew where you were at.
Was going to pull up.
That's how connected Georgia is. She gets the Coast Guard
Don't mess with me.
On a day of leisure.
My cousin's in the FBI. You really don't want to mess with me.
Don't be putting his business out like that, fam. You don't want to... Don't mention his name.
It's not Randy.
Do not bring... Shout out Randy. Do not bring up his name on here. We don't want to do that. So, you got some sun. You got a little tan. You feeling good?
Yeah, I feel like... Can you tell? I have a sweatshirt on right now, but I got some... I have some tan lines. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling stress-free.
Okay.
You just need a little reset.
How's that job search going for you?
Okay, he said, let me make you a little more stressful.
Oh, so it has not been going good, clearly.
Well, I'm still unemployed. Right. I had an interview at the gym that I currently work at. Thought it went well. Haven't heard back yet.
You have a degree from the University of Georgia. Let's just make that clear.
And I'm trying to get just what I found out though is the in-between jobs sometimes aren't that simple to find.
They're not. Oh, believe me from experience. Like when I was released by the WWE, I tried to work at Target. I literally was like, I'll just work at Target until, because I had something kind of lined up coming up, but it was a period of unemployment. And I was like, well, I'll just do something easy,
Right. Because you think, I'm definitely overqualified. Right. I'm going to get this job.
It's here's the thing about working in broadcast TV. It prepares you for almost any job that doesn't require some sort of certification or extra skill. If you because the amount of time you spend under pressure, moving around, oftentimes understaffed, undermanned, doing 8 different jobs. People that work in local TV, especially with no resources, are well equipped to. You could honestly go be a manager.
Well, in terms of communication too,
right.
That's my selling point in all these interviews.
Thinking on your feet.
I know how to interact with many different kinds of people.
It is, and it's so frustrating if you do. And oftentimes, media is such a volatile industry. A lot of people do end up having periods of unemployment, and then you send in your resume, especially if you've been in media. This has happened to me, where most of my job experiences are in media, and then well, they're just like, sorry, this guy's overqualified, or, oh, he's not going to stick around and all this stuff.
And that's the thing is like the golf course, they're like, our GM's concerned that if this place offers you a full-time job, you'll just leave us.
Yeah. Well, that's any job.
And in my head, I'm like, isn't that what college girls do for the summer when they come and be a bar cart girl?
That's any job is like that. But that's what frustrates me is like, I remember Target, I did an interview and they asked me like, tell us about a time that you had to deal with a conflict or something. And I have like these examples from WWE and,
you're like,
and television.
It's like, how many do you want?
And I was like, where do you want me to start? Like, do you want to tell you about the time that my manager like did XYZ and, screwed me over? Do you want me to talk about the time my coworker undercut me to do something and I had to continue working? Like, where do you want me to go with this? And it's so hard, but no, like TV media, like especially in smaller markets, prepares you so much for so many different jobs. So it's just employers don't realize it because they're just like, well, this person was on TV or they didn't know. It's like, no, dude, you don't understand the day-to-day fire you're under.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the amount of anxiety and stress that cortisol that is expended by your body in this job.
Well, and like when I was interviewing at the gym, because they're rebranding, they want somebody to kind of come in and help with like marketing and stuff. And she's like, would you say you're organized? And I'm like, being in the business we are, I'm like, you have to be.
Oh, really? Like when I have to go to 3 different high schools in one night, come back, get everything on TV in 40 minutes, sometimes change makeup, go on air. Like the amount you're doing is insane. I wish like there was a reality TV show that everybody watched.
We should start one.
That would help because seriously, there's so many people that, like I said, take little breaks and, Target thought they couldn't hire me. They said, sorry. We're not going to hire you. And it's like, the job was like restocking shelves.
Well, and that's what I'm saying is everybody's probably thinking that, but then I'm like, I'm just stuck here with no job.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, I'm overqualified and unemployed.
Right. You have a degree from the Grady School of Journalism.
University of Georgia, and I just went on a vacation and still don't have a job.
I also was told by one person, I won't say where I applied or what the job was, but this was once again a period of unemployment. And I was even told like, this could be a short-term option. And then I didn't get it. And the guy was like, hey, I think our manager like is intimidated by you. Like the fact that
that's so crazy.
Yeah. Because I knew a couple people that worked there and he was like, he's scared that like you'll come in, you'll be under him, but you're going to like corral the group. You're going to like be the person that like turns people against him. And I was just like, bro's got to go to therapy. Like this isn't something that
you're like, I'm not threatening his manlyhood.
Like what? I didn't know what that was about, but the point blank and simple, like that's what my friend said, decided that I couldn't work there. And this was like a job that was similar to media. Like it would have been like kind of PR communications type thing. And apparently the guy that worked there like saw me as a threat to him. Like, brother, I wasn't going to stay.
You're like, I just wanted a paycheck, bro.
And the job wasn't even like a long-term type of job. It was like a project-based job. And I was like, well, I was very open with them about, hey, I have something lined up, that I just need something. And this is a project. So anyways, enough of this rant. Best of luck to you in your search.
Yeah. It'll work out.
So my entire like life right now is revolved around college baseball. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you've sensed any anxiety in me.
Oh, I know you're waiting until 6:00 today.
So today is Monday, June 2nd. And so this episode will probably come out later this week. Mm-hmm. And so tonight, Ole Miss, where I went to school, the town that I grew up, Oxford, is hosting an NCAA regional game, elimination game. So whoever wins against Murray State, if Ole Miss wins, then they get to host a super regional. And Duke, who just beat Georgia in I guess they did beat Georgia, but they just won the Athens regional. They would then come to Oxford for a 3-game series, and the winner of that goes on to Omaha, where there is the College World Series of baseball.
The best city in the country.
All right, I don't know about that, but I have heard
for that week of the year,
100%. I think so.
It's amazing.
And, very nervous. Ole Miss lost to Murray State on the opening game of the regional. Then they went on to win 2 straight games. Now they have to win 1 more. So they have to win 3 in order to then host the super regional. So I'm very anxious. Ole Miss sports is a very taxing commitment. It is a anxiety-inducing, blood pressure-raising, lifespan-shortening kind of commitment.
I feel like that's how Falcons fans feel too.
Yeah, a lot of sports teams, but Ole Miss just in particular. The Falcons, honestly, 28-3 is a very like Ole Miss type of thing to happen.
Yeah, that's lifelong trauma right there.
Right, 100%. And I've had plenty of those with Ole Miss sports. Like, we are the most like stressed out and untrustworthy fan base in the country. We have a saying: we may not win every game, but we ain't never lost a party. That's because everybody's drunk from having to deal with.
I need to, because you've been talking about the Grotto.
The Grove? Mate, the Grotto. What are we, in Italy? God bless.
I was going to say the Grove, and I said it's not the Grove.
Oh, my God.
Oh, please don't come for me in the comments.
Ole Miss fans, please roast her in the comments. But my point is, I think I've moved the camera here out of
Can you
confusion
take me to
for
the Grotto?
Yeah, you can come. I mean, we can go to the Grove at some point. But Ole Miss baseball in particular, it's like baseball is the second sport in Oxford after football. Basketball's kind of taken that mantle with Chris Beard showing up, but it's always just been anxiety inducing because they're always really good. And then they get to host a regional, super regional, but they like rarely make it to Omaha. Yeah. So,
that was Georgia's problem. They hosted
Georgia
a regional for the second year in a row.
Yeah.
Under Wes Johnson, who's done amazing.
Great job so far.
But you said the issue, and you saw this even before they hosted the regional, you felt like they didn't have the arm power.
Yeah, the pitchers. I mean, the bullpen wasn't deep enough. And that's the big, I mean, just a brutal way for Georgia to end what was a great season. Leading the country in home runs. They had Charlie Condon, who leads the modern era of baseball, college baseball and home runs a year ago, and they come back this year 1 through 9 better as a team.
Well, because people were worried when they lost Charlie, they're like, they're not going to be good. And I mean, like you said, the depth of the roster, except not on the pitching staff.
Right, and that's a credit to Wes Johnson, what he was able to do out of the portal, getting guys like Rylan Zaborowski, Robbie Burnett. And then obviously guys that stuck around like Slade Alford, Colby Branchman, guys that had been there, and just combining it to create another powerful team. I know everybody wants to talk about Foley Field and how it's just easier to hit home runs there. But I mean, they did it everywhere, not just Foley Field. I think they went further at Foley and probably had more at Foley, but they won a lot of games, a top 8 national seed, and then to lose.
Well, and that's the thing, is like to be this great of a team and to come this close to Omaha back-to-back years, it's just frustrating.
You gotta just have pitching depth. I mean, your pitching staff has to be solid to make a deep run, especially in the regional round where you have to win 3. If you can win 3 straight, you can sort of get away with it. But if you lose that one game and now you have to come out of the losers bracket, it is hard to consistently have arms that can keep up. And we talk about Foley Field being such a easy ballpark to hit home runs in. Yeah. All the teams in the Athens Regional were really good home run hitting teams. Even Binghamton, who was absolutely smoked out of there, they did pretty well in their conference as far as hitting home runs. Duke, same thing. You know what I mean? So Oklahoma State, another team, and that was brutal. The way they lost to Oklahoma State, bottom of the 9th, walk-off fashion, in a season that had so much promise. This team looked like it could have gone to Omaha, but I told you before the regional started,
you did say, I
was very, very, very wary of their pitching depth. I was like, I don't think the staff has enough guys that can consistently give them what they need in a home run friendly ballpark to be able to. I thought at least they would go to the super regionals, but to go to Omaha, I didn't think they had it. And that's something, Wes Johnson has done a tremendous job. UGA has spent so much money for baseball in their facilities, but the one thing they got to do this offseason, they got to just go get
emphasis.
Whether it's from the portal or it's the high school guys, like bring some guys in that you develop. And so when you do get into a situation where you're coming out of a loser's bracket, you have enough pitchers that can get you out of it. And unfortunately they didn't. And just feel terrible for Georgia fans because like there's so much excitement about baseball right now and how good they were.
Do you think in the next 5 years they'll make up a trip to Omaha?
Oh yeah. Oh, Georgia's not going anywhere under Wes Johnson. It was always a sleeping giant.
Yeah.
UGA was, right? Like there's so much good talent in the state of Georgia. The travel baseball scene is insane in Georgia. So you knew that like, hey, if they get the right guy in here and the school invests into this sport, it can be one of those SEC powerhouses. And in 2 years, they've become that.
Well, because it's like you're getting close. And again, like you said, year 2 with Wes Johnson. Yep. So
Two straight years hosting, 2 straight years with national seeds.
Back in Omaha for the first time since like 06, 07.
06, 07, 08, something like that. I think they're definitely going to get there. And Wes's entire specialty is as a pitching coach. That's what he did. When he was in the pros, I believe he was with the Twins, LSU, Mississippi State, all the stops he's made. That's what he's been known for. I think he does a great job of like managing pitch counts and all that kind of stuff. He just needs to get those like elite arms into the program that can carry what we've seen from their hitters. Now you just got to get that on the other end. But they're not going anywhere. Georgia's going to stick around. But my attention right now is on the Rebels. Hopefully they can.
He's counting down the time until 6 o'clock tonight.
So this podcast will drop on probably Tuesday or Wednesday, so June 3rd or 4th. So if Ole Miss is lost, check on me. If they've won, also check on me, because then I'm going to be anxious about Duke coming into Oxford for the Super Regional. But
what a fun time.
I love
we were
college
talking,
baseball.
I was like, would you do a 14-hour trip up to Omaha with me?
If Ole Miss makes it to Omaha, fingers crossed.
That'd be fun.
If
I could show you around my city.
If they get into, I've actually been to Omaha. Been to Omaha before.
When were you in Omaha?
I covered the Nebraska. What is it? The UNO, University of Nebraska Omaha. Is that the thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Memphis played Creighton, I believe.
Yeah.
Where is Creighton?
Right next to my high school.
Okay.
Creighton's downtown Omaha.
So I don't know if they played at the UNO. Maybe they played at Creighton's. I think they played at Creighton, actually. No. Yeah. So when I was covering Memphis in my first market, Memphis played Creighton in the NIT. So I was in Omaha for that.
Small world. Did you like it?
It was an interesting place. It feels like a big city at times, and then like other parts of town feels very much what you would expect for Nebraska.
Yeah. I didn't get the downtown area. There's, there's not cornfields everywhere.
No, it looked like a newer downtown.
Yeah,
like
well,
all
in
the buildings
Dundee
look new.
area, Warren Buffett lives there.
Yeah,
like it's casually like the richest guy, and he lives a very modest lifestyle.
Yeah, I like Warren Buffett. Out of all the billionaires, he seems like the most like humble one. But I've been to Omaha, but never so when Ole Miss made it in 2022 and won the College World Series, I could have gone to the championship series. Like I was off. But WWE, who I worked for at the time, was so weird about me going. Like I lived in Orlando, and I was going to fly to Omaha for the weekend, catch that, and come back. And I was like, hey, I'm off. Like I'm going. My managers were like, before you leave town, you have to tell us, even if it's your day off.
That's weird, though.
It was very, we'll get into my WWE experience when we have Mark Ramondi on, her friend who just wrote a book about the NWO. That's coming here in the next few episodes. But one of the things, they were really weird about was like leaving town and like you not telling them, even if it wasn't like a vacation or something.
But that's so
And their reasoning
weird.
was like, they were like, well, in case somebody's flight gets canceled abroad or something, and we, SmackDown, Raw, NXT, WWE does a bunch of shows. They were like, we may need to call upon you. I'm the newest hire. I'm at the bottom of the bottom. I'm doing a show called NXT Level Up, which is like where like the brand new people they just signed go on this show. Like it was like at the bottom of their
Maybe
priority.
that was their way of trying to control you.
100. Like I said, we will get into that in another episode. But they straight up were like, we don't recommend you leave town this weekend in case we need you. And I'm like, well, I would be the 10th. Georgia, I would have been the 10th person on the depth chart. I was the practice squad when I was at WWE.
He's not even on the bench. He's like not even dressed out.
I don't even dress for the games type thing. And they just it was just them trying to tell me like, hey, you work for us, you do what we say now type of thing. And so I sat on my couch in Orlando, and I live my apartment was right next to a pool. And so I'm watching all these people at the pool having a great time, listening to music.
I was at the College World Series that year with my dad.
No, aren't you lucky? And I just sat on my couch watching all these people have a good time, just like watching Ole Miss, Oklahoma, and we won, and tears were shed, and watch us win a natty. But what I would have given to be there.
Well, and you would really like. There's this bar. It's like this pizza shop, but it's right like across from the ballpark, and they have Jello
shot counters.
That's very strong. They're not that good.
Yeah.
But like LSU always wins because like the owner of Cane's will buy like thousands.
The year we were there, Ole Miss was like leading or whatever, and I think yes, you're right. Like LSU fans always try to be like, we won the count, whatever. But I want to do that. I really want to experience that.
And it's a fun week to be in Omaha because like growing up, my dad and I would always go. And again, Georgia hasn't been there since like 06, 07, but we would always wear like Georgia gear. And like we'd always have people either saying like go Dogs or glory, glory. Like people from all over the country that week come to Omaha just to enjoy some good baseball.
It is like the biggest party of the weekend to me. And, Ole Miss has only made it twice in my lifetime.
So hey, 6 o'clock.
So really hoping that this year might be the year.
We're hoping this doesn't age poorly.
Yeah, exactly. But I love college baseball. I think it's one of the most underrated sports in the country. The product obviously is never going to be as good as the major league product. And it's the same with college basketball. It's never going to be as good as the NBA. But because of it, you have love for your school, your hometown. Like it's like a European soccer club. Like it's like your neighborhood. It's like, everybody gets behind it. These environments are so electric. Like Oxford for the regional yesterday, when Ole Miss had to win 2 straight games to survive, I was so jealous that I wasn't there. I mean, it just took me back to my childhood. I would love to see
Ole Miss fans in Omaha.
And like Ole Miss, they hit home runs and they do the beer showers. Like we get down. We know how to party in Oxford because, like I said, we lose a lot, so we tend to party to kind of anyways. But the sport is awesome, and I'll give a shout out to ESPN too, because ESPN Plus has been such an asset for college baseball in the postseason. This is something a lot of sports leagues should actually do. But it's helped the sport grow in that you get an ESPN Plus subscription. What is it, like $5.99, $7.99? Inflation might have raised prices. I don't know, but
it's not like Fubo.
It's not like you're not. It's not like Sunday Ticket or League Pass. Like you pay very little, and you're getting to watch almost every single game of the NCAA tournament, and it has helped grow interest in the sport. I've had friends who never watched college baseball. They saw how like anxious I was about Ole Miss, and they kind of tuned in, or they were with us like a couple days we were watching, and they're like, dude, this is electric. Like, I want to go. And I was like, dude, yes, college baseball is just any college sport because of it's a university, it's a school. You have you're there for a limited amount of time, and it's a part of a college experience. So the energy and excitement is just through the roof, especially when your team is good and it's high stakes like the postseason. So shout out to ESPN for making those games accessible on there, because it's helping the sport grow. And I've seen college baseball grow so much in the last 5 years. And I think it's going to continue to do so. But fingers crossed for the Reds.
I just don't know if he could survive 14 hours with me in a car.
Definitely could not. I would be probably hour 3 in the back.
You would be driving.
I would have a sleep mask on with my AirPods.
And then I'd
noise cancellation. No, ma'am. You would be driving. That'd be very risky.
It's called multitasking.
If I do go, please feel free to come. I don't think we'll ride together, or I might just fly. I don't know. Separate seats.
I would fly.
But anyways, that's going on. NBA Finals coming up. Pacers, OKC.
Who are you rooting for?
Okay. I love OKC's young core. Sam Presti, former Spur. He was in the Spurs front office before he went to OKC, and big Spurs guy. So respect Sam Presti, what he's done, stacking up the picks, building this young core. Happy for OKC. I really am. I've kind of fallen in love with the Pacers this playoffs. I knew that Minnesota probably wasn't going to get out of the Western Conference Finals. Ant is awesome, but after him, there's not really much going on. Right. And it's such an exciting player and young guy that you want to succeed. But OKC was so unbelievably good this year. Shea had a hell of a season. I know y'all call him a free throw merchant, but he's one of the best mid-range shooters I've seen in the modern game. Love his game. Big Full Circle fan where we record. He has a lot of pieces from Full Circle. So shout out Shea.
Shout out.
Gilgeous Alexander. Love Chet. I really do like OKC's young core. But, dude, Indiana, the way they took care of the Knicks, the drama, well, that was the game. That was the series everybody was talking about, and it's just like Madison Square Garden. That's what happens.
And the celebs that were there looking courtside. It's just like it. I don't know that. We had a friend,
Timothy
Evan.
Chalamet.
Yeah, Kylie Jenner is every picture. There's a dozen of just celebs there.
Yeah,
Spike Lee was there.
That's what happened. When anytime a New York team does well, but especially the Knicks,
Square Garden.
MSG is the mecca, right?
Yeah.
And so it is fun and it's exciting. I will say this one: I am a New York Giants fan. I have very all over the place fan base, and I can explain it one day.
We'll have to unpack that.
We can unpack that. There's stories for all of them, but I'm a Giants fan, and so I know New York fans are rowdy and whatever. But Knicks fans, to me, just they come off a different way, and so I don't know. I just can't get behind the Knicks for that reason. I didn't really go into the Eastern Conference Finals knowing what team I wanted to win, but once the Pacers had that comeback, I think it was game 1 or game 2, that ridiculous Tyrese Halliburton shot, and then just was it Nembhard that was popping off. After that, I was like, all right, I'm all in on the Pacers.
Yeah.
The Pacers, to me, felt like the team of destiny. Now that we're in the finals, I know OKC's immensely talented, and they are positioned to win. But I think the veteran leadership that the Pacers have, and I don't know, just the personalities. I really love the personalities on the Pacers. They got me, man. Like I said, they got me. I'm finding it hard to find a reason because I'm not a Pacers fan.
Yeah.
But the state of Indiana, that's all they care about is the Pacers and the basketball. And I think it'd be really cool for them to win again. I mean, they haven't won a title in, God, I don't know how long. You know what I mean?
You got to root for the underdogs.
Right. And so I am 100% rooting for the Pacers. I said Pacers in 5 the other day. A lot of people came after me.
That's that's a hot take.
And that's fine. That's totally fair, but that's just where my head is at right now. Very big Pacers fan at the moment, so I hope they take it. And, as a Spurs fan, like, I know we're coming back. We got Wemby, Steph Castle, back-to-back Rookies of the Year. Mitch Johnson just took over for Pop, the GOAT. Love him. But I love the trajectory of the franchise. You have the number 2 overall pick. Like, the Spurs are coming back. But all these years that we've been gone away, I've become a fan of other players and other teams as far as, like, we'll let y'all have this window. This is y'all's window. This is good for the sport. This is your time. It's good for the sport to have other teams and young players, get to the finals and win. And so OKC was one of those teams for me. It's like, okay, I like this young core. Ja Morant and the Grizzlies, Jaren Ja, all those guys, Des Bane, like, love that team. I covered them. Really want these younger teams to do well. And so, like, for that reason, I should say OKC, but Indiana, man.
You're taking the Pacers.
I got the Pacers for sure. Before we go, obviously we live in Atlanta. We got to talk about the story we saw on the news the other day.
We were watching, so our friend was hosting this special, and he did a tremendous job. But before that, we were watching
the news,
the tail end of the news, and the investigative reporter.
Yes, Johnny Edwards, like one of the most talented investigative reporters in the city of Atlanta, like Emmy, won tons of awards. He's doing this story. It was like one of his specials,
and it was just the most Atlanta-coded story ever.
100%. So it's basically this like neighborhood, affluent neighborhood, like old people, families, babies, whatever. And it's just this mansions, like this one house at all times of the day is just blasting music. Like in the middle of the day, there's just like Drake playing and
huge parties.
And then you've got this guy, like these people with these like decibel monitors, like, look how loud this is.
The old man was like, and at this day it reached this number.
Yeah. It's just ruining their lives playing music all day.
Yeah. If you spend millions of dollars that would make me mad too.
No doubt. And at night, this guy is throwing these lavish parties that he's like advertising, selling tickets. There's damn Hellcats racing down the street in this neighborhood. Like
the whole front yard is just filled with cars.
Yeah.
Like this is like it just makes me laugh because I'm like, that is so Atlanta.
It just doesn't happen in other cities. I've lived in a lot of different places. Like if you go to live in a certain neighborhood, you expect it to just kind of be like peaceful, quiet, whatever, family oriented. Someone may have a party, but nothing of this stature.
Well, and imagine him reading like the story request, like in his email inbox of being like, hey, we live in this like, $1 million house neighborhood and this guy throws ragers and the music's too loud. Like,
but the best part of it is like
the guy was lying about it.
He just lies. The guy throwing the party is just lying through his teeth. And it's like, bro, all this stuff is online. Like they're like, when we asked him this, he said that. And the guy's like, nah, it didn't happen, whatever. And they're like, but we found a Facebook invite. And then like they'd say something else. He'd be like, nah, man, it's just us having a good time. A couple people. We found a massive Memorial Day party invite.
And it was like, after this, the event was canceled.
Right. It's just so funny. Like the audacity to be the guy that
Atlanta
is being interviewed is just like, I'm just going to lie to the news and just act like it's not real. Meanwhile,
we should drive by. I wonder since this story, I thought I had been there.
I think you've been there. So we're watching this news story, and I literally, in our friend group, Georgia is always outside. Georgia will leave at dinner, and Georgia's like, yeah, I'm going to go home, wind down.
I'm on the sidewalk.
5 minutes later, she's at the club. Like so we always say, Georgia, be outside at all times.
And I deny it. But
so I looked at her, and I went, you've probably been there, huh? Maybe a minute later into the story. Oh my God, I think I know that house. Of course you have. You're part of the problem.
You know what? No, I just sometimes, God forbid, a woman wants to have fun in her early 20s.
Yeah, disrupting a peaceful neighborhood.
Mid-20s.
Anyways, watch the local news, guys. You get some of the crazy
the best
stuff.
Stories.
Incredible stuff. Man, we specifically watched that story. It was like, we got to hash this on the pod because most people probably didn't see it because it was on TV at a certain time.
Yeah.
But if you get a chance, check this thing out. You can.
It's hilarious.
It's on I think it's on the Fox 5 Atlanta website. Yeah. Look it up. It's such a funny story. Before we go, you got anything else to say?
We should do our high-low Buffalo.
High-low Buffalo. Okay, go ahead. We'll start with you.
Okay, high was definitely being in Florida, seeing a friend that I haven't seen since college. She drove up one of the days. Yep. And then my low is probably still waiting to hear back just about my interim job. I'm like, geez, guys. And then my Buffalo. Buffalo's always tricky. What was a Buffalo? Something unexpected. Trying Yepa on the Beltline for the first time. If you haven't been, you got to check it out.
Numbers.
Oh, it's going to do numbers because it's open, and on a nice day, like it's very like the door, like there's windows that they pull up.
It's a very jovial. It gives you Italian vibes. Close quarters tables, lots of people, open space.
Feel like you're in Italy.
I don't know about all that. I don't know if you're gonna feel like you're in Italy on the Beltline.
I think you do. Have a nice spritz. Look at the nice day.
Yeah,
the company.
Your close quarters to everything. It was so funny. It's just kind of recently opened. I've seen so many people go to Yeppa. Like I'll be on someone's Instagram. They'll be at Yeppa and Buckhead eating lunch, and then later in the day they're back at Yeppa on the Beltline.
Well,
for the
because
vibes.
from there you can, boys, men, take note. I feel like this would be a great date idea. Take your girl to Yeppa on the Beltline, and then go have a reservation at the James Room and have a nice cocktail after dinner.
Sure. Something special for sure. But yeah, Yeppa, that's super genius of y'all to open that location right on the Beltline, like right where everybody kind of crosses in and comes on.
Exactly.
Right next to Krog.
You couldn't have picked a better location on the Beltline.
Whoever was running Yeppa, you guys are killing it. All right, High-Low Buffalo. High of the week for me is the fact that as of right now, recording this episode on June 2nd, Ole Miss is still alive in the College World Series.
That's not going to age well.
My low of the week, did I have a low? I don't think I've had a, you know what? My low is, no, that's not my low either. Georgia, I haven't had a low. That's a pretty good thing.
He goes, yeah, you have some lows right now.
You know what? I lied. I was kind of sick on Friday night. I had made plans, kind of got a little queasy, went home, chilled. But honestly, that was kind of good for me, so I didn't even see it as a low. My Buffalo was the fact that Georgia got eliminated in the NCAA regional. I was not expecting that.
I wasn't either.
Was expecting to at least get a super regional in Athens.
My dogs.
So that's my High-Low Buffalo. But anyways, thank you guys for tuning back in to another episode of Trash the Script. And remember, it is okay to trash the script.